What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Ben gaming video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day as always. Now, we're doing a little bit of a different video here today. We're going to be actually doing a side-by-side comparison of the multiple modes that we've got on Gears Reloaded. So I'm excited to do this. This is between base PS5 and PS5 Pro. So please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoy this type of content. This is my first time doing this, so let me know what you think down below. And yeah, let's just jump in. Alright, so we are here with the side-by-side comparisons. Now, I want to note that there is not a huge difference in this game, but it is definitely slightly sharper on PS5 Pro. Now, I'm going to be honest, it is not noticeably different between these two. I'm not going to do a digital foundry where we zoom in 400%, because in the end of the day, in my opinion, that is not worth doing. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, you're not playing a game zoomed in at 400%. That's not what I'm doing on my channel. I just want to show side by side so you guys can make the decision for yourself whether you think it's worth it or not. In my opinion, there is a sharpness difference. It's definitely slightly sharper on PlayStation 5 Pro. Is it a huge difference? Absolutely not. So we're here on the 120 Hz mode first. I apologize if clips don't exactly line up. It's incredibly hard to do exactly, but I've done the best job that I possibly can lining these two versions up to show, you know, what's going on and the differences that you can see with a nice side-by-side here. So apart from sharpness, there's not a lot going on. Obviously, the PS5 Pro is using PSSR, where I believe the base PlayStation 5 is using FSR. You can see some shimmering in the background there quite clearly of some of the railings, so there is some differences there, and there is actually it's a slight increase in just image stability on the Pro when you're looking at some of these sort of like railings in the background that are shimmering. But again, this opinion is down to you guys. What do you think down in the comments below? This is a new type of video for me, so I'm really interested to get your opinions on what you think. What would you like me to do more of these side-by-sides going forward in the future? It's something I'm certainly keen to do, and I did enjoy actually making this video a lot more than some of the others I've done recently, so I do like this kind of like doing side-by-sides. It also gives me an understanding of what games look like next to each other, and of course we can go back and do this again with PlayStation 6 in the future and stuff. But again, just a sharpness difference on the fences there, on the railings. You can see a slight advantage to Pro, but it is absolutely not huge at all in any way. So that's it. There's not a huge amount to go, but we're going to keep going forward. We will also do the 60 FPS mode after that. But again, just to touch on, we aren't here to be Digital Foundry. I'm more showing you the differences so you can decide whether you should upgrade for this game or not. Like, in my opinion, no, you shouldn't. There's not a huge difference. As I said, it's not worth upgrading between the two systems. The 120 Hz mode, I will add, since we're not doing frame rate counters, I don't have that capability. The frame rate is about around 5 to 10 FPS higher on Pro, so again, not a large amount at all. We've done separate videos on both of those where I discussed frame rates, but not huge differences between the two. The main thing is just PSSR and the sharpness going on between these two modes. Apologies for not exactly lining the clips up. I can't always hit enemies perfectly and always like kill an enemy straight away. It just doesn't always line up perfectly, but I think this is good enough just to show what you can expect between these two platforms. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Obviously, we're going to go to the 60 FPS mode shortly, and also let me know what other comparisons would you like to see. What other games would you like to see up next? We can obviously do Metal Gear Solid. Here's a nice lined up clip of the helicopter flying in, so see if you can see any difference there. Not a drastic one, at least from my eyes. It's pretty difficult to see any sort of difference. We briefly will go to the next area over here as well, just to say we're going to be hopping across. Not everything is spot on lined up, but I would say it's pretty close. So this is another area we can look at here. This is one that is probably one of the more pretty areas of the game, to be honest. Like these big like buildings in the background just look really nice. Yeah, there you go. So you can actually see a slight advantage on Pro on the right in the lighting and sharpness of the stairs there. That is fairly evident to me. I can quite clearly see that watching this. So you know, there is definitely an advantage to Pro. And again, something to note when we go behind here and look at these railings in the background, they are very slightly sharper on Pro when like kind of zoomed out, but again, not a huge difference at all. Foliage wise, everything looks pretty decent on both. This is a good game, guys. I'm very excited to dive into this one, to be honest. And again, a little bit of a sharpness increase on the railings on the left, and just is just sharper, right? It is just sharper on PlayStation 5 Pro. That is for definite. So onto the 60 FPS mode here. Now, I'm not completely sure. You can see the cog in the sort of background on the wall at the top. It definitely has a sharpness increase. This one is more noticeable in my opinion. There is, especially if you go back to looking at the cog at the start of this 60 FPS section, there's definitely a sharpness bit there, and it's just slightly more clay-like almost is the best way of describing it between the two. Very similar to the 120 Hertz mode. Not a huge difference, nothing drastic in terms of, you know, anything. It is just slightly sharper, and the visual settings are certainly slightly higher on Pro, but again, is it worth the upgrade for this game? Absolutely not. But you can see the sharpness walking up to the rock was slightly better on the PS5 Pro. If you could notice that, then definitely, you know, yeah, there is something there. But again, not noticeable. I think I may go back and start doing this on more games, because I've not actually done many side-by-side comparisons like this. And one, I really enjoyed doing it. And I always thought, oh, I've got to go to every area in the game, but I don't. I can just show off a segment of the game side-by-side just to show like what the differences are in a certain area, and those differences will correlate and translate to later areas of the game. It doesn't need to be a whole playthrough where I get to a crazy part of the game or anything like that. It's fine. If I was doing FPS counting, then yes, it would be worth going all the way to the later parts, but I'm more about visuals on this channel. Like, you can see if there's frame drops, you can see in the recording. I record in incredibly high raw quality, so you would notice any drops if they are there as much as I would. So again here, nothing crazy, nothing different going on. Getting these two to line up with the doors opening at the exact same time is really weird. That for some reason in certain runs it just opened early, and then other runs it opened late. So that was something really weird that I just noticed in terms of the actual gameplay. So I've not seen that before. Again, not really a problem. But running out into the open, oh wait, we're not going to the open yet, we're going to grab the chest first. I remember doing this run now. You can see like slight differences. I know I'm slightly behind on the PS5 Pro. It's sometimes hard to line this up perfectly, but again, you can see very marginal differences, but nothing drastic at all. So yeah, we'll go out into the open area here, and we'll do the last part that we did before, and yeah, it's just not that gravely different. Again, side by sides here. I'm looking at this for my first time next to each other while I'm sort of recording the audio segment and watching it at the same time back, looking out for anything I can see. And again, it's just nothing drastically different at all, which is to be expected from a game like this. This game is not designed around modern hardware in the way of like, it's, you know, it's not going to be a crazy difference when it's very easy to run in terms of this game. What we will see a difference on is other games going forward in the future when I do these comparisons. Obviously, we can take a look at many different types. If you want to see other videos, let me know what other comparisons you would like to see, and we can certainly do those here on the channel. Drop them down in the comment below. I will see the comments, so just let me know what you would like to see from both sides here. So again, we're going to have the nice lined up shot with the helicopter going over, so you can see if you can see any difference in this 60 FPS mode. The backgrounds, really, I feel like they could have done quite a bit more with this sort of like almost remake-ish. I feel like they could have done something a little bit more here, because I just feel it's almost a little bit lackluster. It would have been nice to have a full, like, I know we hate UE5 on the channel specifically because of the bad optimization and stuff that seems to happen with these engines, but I would have liked to have seen sort of like a really nice UE5 version of this. I think it would have been kind of nice to see, to be honest, but you know, we didn't get that. It is what it is. We've got, you know, at least we've got some form of remake. Again, on the steps here, you can see a slight advantage on Pro, but nothing major really at all in terms of that. I think it's just pixel count is slightly higher. It's obviously using PSSR, which is a more stable upscaler than FSR, but it's not really struggling in any way at all, to be honest. You can see the fuzziness, the railings aren't quite as sharp. Again, this is a good point to always look at when walking through there. The railings just aren't quite as sharp, and that's Something to note, the plants above aren't quite as sharp in my opinion, and in the background detail it's also not quite as sharp. So nothing crazy, nothing different, not worth the crazy amount more you spend on the system. Even the red on that logo there is certainly sharper running at a higher resolution on PS5 Pro there, but again, nothing crazy. Anyway, that's it for the comparison side-by-sides. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is it worth the upgrade? Is it not worth the upgrade? For me, the PS5 Pro is worth it for me, but for this game, no, it is not worth the upgrade in my opinion with those side-by-sides. So let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you in future videos, guys. Let me know what other games you want as well. So yeah, all right, leave a like, subscribe, see you in future videos. Bye-bye for now.